Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game 1 of a best of 3. It's a bit of Zerg versus Terran action, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, from DreamHack Valencia. It's one of the games that didn't get cast by anyone, and my heart really does feel for that, because frankly there was so many amazingly good games at DreamHack Valencia, many of which I cast along with Jorasar or just on my own, and yeah, they were cool doing it live, but there's just so many great players, not all of them can be done. But anyway, here we are. Let me introduce these two. Down in the bottom right hand position of Acheron Wastes, we've got the blue Zerg player from Quantic. It is HyuN. Now, not to give spoilers, but HyuN had a pretty good run at DreamHack Valencia. Now, in the top left, his opponent is the red Terran player. It is the TheStC. So, what can we be expecting from these two? Well, HyuN is never afraid to be a little bit aggressive, a little bit boisterous, likes to just try and win games. So, could definitely be seeing that. From the TheStC, we'll have to wait and see, because there's lots of options. Acheron Waste does lend itself to taking a quick third base, actually, because you can hold this area really quite nicely, especially once you've knocked out these rocks. You can get just nice bioforce in here and be like, oh, you want to attack my third? Nah. You want to attack my natural? Nah. I'm going to drop you, though, because look at all of this dead space. So I think these can all kind of fit in there. We'll have to keep an eye out, though. HyuN looks like he's just going to be going fairly standard, to be honest. Going to go for that 15 hatch, which is to be expected, because, yeah, it's EVT. 15 hatch is almost always the way that it goes down. And I was actually discussing it, I believe, with Jorasar, I want to say, a couple of days ago. And we were trying to work out, when did the 15 hatch play start becoming, like, the standard in ZVT? Because, to be honest, neither of us could actually... I remember, like, a time before that, and it used to... I'm sure it used to be, like, 14 pool, 14 gas openings were really common, and then there was just that monumental switch of, let's just go 15 hatch, these fast expansions, and then it never really came back, as the Zerg got better at defending early game pressure. But all we see here, HyuN actually doing quite a nice job of trying to delay this command center. Isn't able to do much, though. Does force back one of those SCVs. Remember, of course, this was a CC first, as we can see here, so that's actually quite an important thing that HyuN's trying to delay this. A third SCV is now having to be pulled down just to try and stop this drone, so this drone definitely being useful, definitely wasting a little bit of mining time, and ultimately just being a right little trooper. Now, we do see that the barracks obviously coming down, there's the gas up behind it, that's going to allow a Reaper to come out quite nicely, quite easily. Should the TheStC want it, will also allow him to get up a factory nice and soon. All of these different options are going to be presenting themselves, and for the moment, HyuN, of course, doesn't know about the gas. He knows about the racks, he knows it was a CC first, so he should be prepared for what is going to be coming out. Himself, though, he's getting down a gas at each base. He's also getting down a couple of Zerglings, but most likely going to just start droning pretty heavily. All that's worth keeping an eye out for is when speed starts, and also whether these drones get pulled out once it does. It's about, well, 10 gas away from that coming down, so you need to keep an eye out on whether drones get pulled. If they are pulled, that means most likely, and wow, they already have been, so yeah, just one being left in there, that trickle in. This is a very HyuN thing to do, getting that one drone sitting there. Allows the lair to come down at a decent-ish time, but for the time being, you just see the factory is on its way. The barracks moving over, that should get a reactor on it, nice and quick, ready to start pumping out those Hellions. It could also be a tech lab. It's something that's got a lot more common recently, is getting one lone tank. Certainly can be done, but now we see the barracks is going to be getting that reactor down, so this is all fine, nothing too much to worry about. The Marine trying to force back the Overlord from getting any scouting information, and because of that, HyuN doesn't really know what's going on, but he's not going to be too worried. Mainly due to the fact that he knows it's a command center first. Everything just looking fine, looking good, and he's going to be quite confident that I can drone. And that's what HyuN wants to do ultimately, is squeeze out as many drones as he can. He's still mining just with that one droning gas, so a very trickle income of gas coming through. No third base yet though, and there is already a third CC on its way down here for the TheStC. Now, HyuN, he's just moving down a drone now to go and take this, so it's at around the 6-minute mark it's going to be hitting, and that's a very normal timing for that third against a CC first. If it was a Rax expand, then this would be about 30 seconds-ish later. But all HyuN needs to identify now is that, actually, there's a third CC coming down. There is literally one factory and one barracks producing stuff. HyuN can go and win this game if he just goes and pushes. He doesn't even need this third down. He can just get a whole stream of units and kind of win outright, because there's no Widow Mines, no tanks, nothing to deal with their big Roach Zergling flood. But yeah, as we see, one lone Hellion poking in here. The Overlords still haven't sacrificed in. Still very little information about what HyuN knows is happening. Once that wall of his complete, he will need to get some banelings out to break through it easily. But we do see that Overlord speed is getting researched, so that's going to allow some quick scouting information to be achieved. The STC playing this massively macro orientated, getting down the double engineering bay, third CC. This is everything about the late game. STC is basically aiming to use these Hellions in order to keep map control, prevent a push coming out, and really just turtle up and get into the late stages with this double upgrades, nice economy and stuff. But HyuN has different thoughts. He's getting 7 now, 8 roaches out. Definitely going to be pushing, because if you just got, say, like 4, it would be to deal with the Hellions. You can deal with that with just 4, but now a Baneling nest coming down as well. HyuN probably going to be going for a Roach Bane bus, and that is just such a good build against this. We can see the Overlord has come in. It's seen that these 2 barracks came down. The Hellions too have been killed there as well, but the big thing is the double engineering bay wasn't spotted, but the 3rd orbital command has been. HyuN knows what is on its way. The Roach is now coming down to 18 Zerglings on their way, plus of course the Baneling nest getting ready to complete. A big Roach Baneling bus is going to be incoming. We see HyuN banking up the gas already, put 3 drones back in there. He's also got his 2nd and 3rd gas guys down at the natural. The Speedlings running across the map. The Roaches trying to get in a nice position. What is there to defend at the moment for the STC? Well, he's got 5 Marines and 2 Hellions. That is literally all he's got there. Rapidly trying to get out some more units, trying to produce a couple of Marauders. Stim is still a good way away from completion, and that is what the big problem could be for the STC. He's not going to be able to defend this push unless he's very careful. The Roaches spread out nicely. If anything comes down, the Banelings I don't believe were seen, and there's a lot of them morphing in. 16 Banelings going to start rolling up. We can see that STV is getting pulled, but that's not going to make a difference to this many Banelings that are now spotted by the Hellions. The Banelings actually running after them. That's something HyuN definitely needs to try and adjust to, and he does now pull them back, but the wall already taking some big hits from the Banelings. The Marines taking a sizable amount of fire. There's no complete wall off, so the Zerglings can just come streaming in. They prevent the escape of this infantry. The Banelings are connecting. More Banelings waddling their way forward. One Marauder will start trying to take that out, but the Roaches are in the main base, and this is not looking too good at the moment for the STC. HyuN is just going to start pushing through. SCV is getting pulled, trying to defend, trying to stop some of this happening. Of course, the main is also getting ready to be ransacked. SCV is getting pulled, but the Banelings are always going to be the threat. There's some detonations going off. Big hits could occur. There we go. That is what HyuN wanted. 27 workers killed, and there is the GG. So that means that HyuN wins the first game. If you enjoyed that, like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. Then flick over to my channel, and I'll see you at game number 2 in just a second.